So you end up being signed to Bad Boy Records. How did that happen?
Right, because now at this time I'm becoming a premier bad boy. I said premier bad boy, excuse me, a premier battle rapper, right? And you got to remember, battle rapping takes talent. All these guys, they are immensely talented, especially in this time because you're practicing for perfection, not stumbling, messing up, and all of this stuff, right? So there was one battle where God paid my cab to come in. You know, gave me $1,000 to rap.
What?
Yeah.
He was paying some little brother.
Because they were doing little side bets on the side, and they would make their money. But people was rocking with me because I was alone. So they figured like, all right, it was no crew to persuade or this, that, and the third. Because battle rappers were also getting, I wouldn't say big headed, but cocky in their brand. The only one who really didn't do that was Jay Mills. Like Jay Mills would, even if he had a record out or whatever, he would be cool enough to just chill with people. He literally had that whole, energy about him.
So you was traveling alone because this just like. Did you did you consider yourself a rapper or was it just a talent you had? So you was just
talent, I was just.
You was like a painter, just walking around painting.
Right.
All right.
So then, at the time, I'm now like developing, a real sense of, because cars from the barbershop in Harlem, they would have the Rough Riders come in, they had the Rough Riders come in and they was Jadakiss was like, man, this kid is nice. And I remember my mother was like, she didn't want me to, Dean and Y loved my mother, but my mother had seen that one of them had the thing on it. She was like, oh, no.
So your mother was around?
At that day, I remember we was on 125th Street because now at this point, my mother was really supporting what was going on because she started to see like, wait a minute, this is serious. Like, because right before that, I won like no lie, like 15 talent shows in a row. Having to do, a different form. So she was like, yeah. So she was serious in supporting that. And Kaz was like an older brother / it was all of these older male figures that were pivotal in that. And he was genuine. And he babysit me and things of that nature. I remember Eve used to call me a little cutie pie. Cause they thought I was gonna be on Rough Riders, cause at the time, Cassidy had a group called Larceny.
Larceny, yeah.
And Swiss was like, yo, he could be the conscious rapper in the group. I'd never forget. I remember DMX was like, yo, this kid is fucking amazing. yo, I like the way he rap like that. Keep it up. Not everybody gotta. He's like, now we gotta put a hole in the nigga. Know what I'm saying?
So, so you met a lot of people. Then Bad Boy, you said you was at a battle rap.
Yeah.
A battle or whatever.
Right. So I was at the battle rap and I won. And one of the guys.
And this was for $1,000.
No, the guy just paid me the $1,000 to come up. I don't know what the other dudes battled.
Okay.
I don't know what they was. He just gave me the $1,000, but this guy felt like, yo, you know what? You mad respectful, nigga. You soft, right? I'ma take that, right? I wasn't having that.
Yeah.
So, he jumped me.
Okay.
Right. So he jumped me. They took my shit. But I said, if you not gonna have, if I can't have it, you can't have it. So I ripped the fucking. I ripped some of the money because I still had a temper. You know what I mean? I just I can't fight 5 dudes and win.
Yeah.
But I never forget, man. Dude came out of the club, the Jimmy's, because it was right there. And they was like, yo, give him his shit back. And they was like, sorry, he's with you. We didn't know. And they started fixing my shit.
So who's the guy that
His name is Zip.
Zip? Mm-hmm. I've heard his name.
Yeah, his name is Zip. So he was like, yo, he said,
He's that. So I think Zip is like bad boy people, then, right?
yeah. But at the time, I didn't know.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not signed. But yeah, Zip know Puff well, hustler, big time dude getting a bread. Even my ex knew Zip. She was like, yo, you know him? I was, yeah. She was like, yeah, she worked at Jimmy's a time, but by the time we weren't together. But so he comes out. And and this is what I mean. I met powerful people in my life because you exude power when you're in a position of calmness, and people who are aggressive are changing their whole shit up. Like he didn't have no gun on him. He was nice, neatly dressed. Just told him, yo, give him his shit back, just like that. They was apologizing, right? They was apologizing, and they was giving me the rest of the money that wasn't ripped. And they was fixing my shit.
Wow.
That's when I was like, who in my head, who the fuck is this?
Wow.
So he was like, yo, I like you. You out here, you mad respectful. He's like, I like the time when you was freestyling to the girl about keeping her virginity and this, that, and the third. He was like, yo, I like you.
And you was young.
I was young. But I was a product of my mom and my aunt who, we had important conversations about systemic oppression and colorism and things of that nature. So I was a little socially advanced, you know what I mean? My sister, my brothers to the day, we're educated group of people. So I remember when he was like, yo, so he's like, don't worry about that. So he just real quickly, here, right? That was, because, he's like, here, take this cab home. And I never forget. He was telling some guy, he was like, yo, because the guy came out after. He was like, you see this kid? This kid's fucking genius. He was like, word? And I never forget the other week, other guy named Spud, heavy set, dude, I was ciphering with his cousin, and his cousin told Spud about me. And Spud, like, I keep hearing about this kid. So when he met me, he was like, yo, and I didn't know, at the time, I didn't know Spud, but then Zip said, he's good, don't worry, go with him. So Spud was like, yo, I'm going to have you round for somebody over the phone, not knowing it was Puff, but just rap. So I'm rapping, I just hear, you talented, Playboy, you talented. So he was like, yo, all right, we going to meet you in a minute. So we just going, we driving down. He was like, look, right now you about to meet somebody. You're going to do that again, but just be calm, be yourself. I was like,
Wait, you said you rapped over the phone for somebody first?
Yeah, that was Puff.
Oh, it was Puff.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
At the time?
Yeah, but then he tell him, he's like, you talented, Playboy. That was Puff saying, you talented, Playboy. But I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
So, so he said, oh, and you got manners. He's like, you got manners. I was like, yeah, my mama raised me right. Mm-hmm. So he was like, yo, bring him through, man. So we never forget. It's crazy. We driving, so he telling me, he's like, yo, you about to meet somebody. So I'm like, okay. He's like, yeah, but I don't want you to get starstruck. But I wasn't, because I wasn't celebrity engulfed. I was more so into art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wasn't like, oh. So.
And you wasn't really aiming to be an artist?
Not in that capacity. Mm-hmm. I was aiming to just express myself.
Express your
right. I literally was not thinking about money, hustling, and that's wasn't. I was, I had a healthy domestic environment, and then went outside like every other kid, and so that wasn't it. But I never forget when I met him. He was in a white Bentley with Jennifer Lopez, and she had the white mink on, nothing but the white mink on.
Where was this?
This was in front of Daddy's house. Now that I remember, which is the studio, because they brought me down to the 48th and 8th Avenue, 47th.
Yeah, I know.
Right, I never forget, because I start rapping, and then he's like, you're gonna be on Bad Boy, right? I'm like, am I? He was like, yeah, I always get what I want. He's like, I always get what I want. And
he always gets what he wants. That's what he said?
Yeah, I remember it vividly because certain things start to revisit back after you have traumatic situations. And then
just the way he was talking to you or whatever.
Exuding power. So you see the consistency in certain things, and certain memories, they're vivid, whether they're positive or negative. So even as I, talk to you now, I might digress and divulge certain information because I might cry. Because certain things are traumatic. So
we ain't trying to get there yet. So not yet. Well, I mean, just saying, I'm not trying to push you to that that. I'm just trying to get your story. Because I actually did see an interview with Jay Mills where he mentioned your name. Yeah. And he actually admitted that he lost to you. Which is really not common.
I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised because he said he grew. He was always very cool, man. Like,
that's dope.
He was always a very good person. And every time I was around him, he was like, because also, you know what? He's talented.
Yeah.
Talented people are very comfortable in themselves. And, he was talented. He knew how to make songs. He knew how to,
that's dope.
And I shared that because my father's this musician. I'm doing reggae, so I'm doing more than just rap. Right? So, yeah, he was a very positive, when I say non-competitive, no, he'd get on the shit and talk his shit, but not nowadays. Man, dudes are just feminine and bitch made, and their jealousy consumes them to do unthinkable shit because they don't want the world to know how talented they think you are.
You know what? Not to focus on Jay Mills, but do you think that he didn't get that he didn't become like the artist he should have been because of the show?
No, I think
because he supposedly lost that battle.
Well, it's the same thing with me with Jin. There's, like he said, you have good days, bad days. I remember that because I remember that day I was telling the manager, yo, I don't feel like this because I remember I was in Hip Hop Project, a program executive produced by Bruce Willis, Russell Simmons, and Queen Latifah, and they invested in it was before them, it was Kazi who started it, but then they invested in the further of it, right? But I remember learning about the intricacy of what a master and publishing is and how it's delegated through the artist. And I remember picking up the Donald Passman book and layering down the sections, and I started to process like, yo, I don't own nothing. So I was stressed that day. You know what I mean? And I wasn't the best version of myself that day. So when I had seen the Jay Mills thing, it all makes sense because it's human emotion you're creating from. So if you're not but you just, it's captivated in that one moment. So that one moment, and especially when even then, members of Hip Hop Project, there was some admiration, but there was also some indirect jealousies in different moments because of, I've been in multiple groups, and it was my way of just trying to always find personal camaraderie because music came so easy to me. But in all of these groups I've been in, there was always that indirect, unhealthy jealousy that wasn't needed because of how other people was perceiving my abilities. And I don't want to.
And I'm guessing you was confident too. Was
creatively, yeah, because it was second nature.
So the fact that you was confident,
but
and people
personally, they were disconnected from that because they would because if you talk to me personally, no, right.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Shout out to Jay Mills, man.
Yeah, facts.
So
he got a dope project out. He got this Cruising Through Harlem, and he got the joint with Vado that I like that. But like I said, he could make songs.
And he has a history of just battle rapping off.
Yes. And I think if he would have personally, I think he got comfortable with making money writing for other people.
Which is fine. People, everybody has their own. Sometimes that's just what it is. There's a lot of like, what's the singer dude? The singer that
Dream.
He's an amazing artist who
Neo, Dallas
Austin,
Sean
Garrett, the Pretty Boy Kid. What's his name? The one that Adorned.
Yes.
What's his name? Miguel.
Yeah.
All these kids they were writers.
Even from Hip Hop Project, who my guy Cannon is a beautiful soul, man. He's a creative of hip hop, everything. We were like really, really, really close. When I used to come over his house all the time. We used to write music, and then his mom died, and I didn't know how to deal with that. That was tremendous. I think he felt like, I don't know, as I think about it, because I think that was a transition. And then later on in life, finding out, he was gay. I don't know if he felt like, because just in an urban community, we socially engineered to discriminate against people's sexuality. I don't know if he ever felt that. I thought I was going to look at him differently. But to this day, he was pivotal in my development of songwriting, because he was also good in vocal production, writing raps, producing. So we had started the Genius Club initially.
Wow.
Is a guy, Thelonious London. His name's Caps. He was coming into the Hip Hop Project. He used to just admire us and be inspired by us, and then he
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's circle back now. Yeah. So you met Diddy and JLo was there. You said JLo had on
a white mink. Because I freestyled about it.
So when you said she had on a white mink and that's it, what do you mean by that?
Okay. When they were in there, because they in the car, right? I'm looking at her over because she's on him and he's, go ahead, rap. And you see her tits.
So JLo was outside like that?
It was the mink. If she had a dress on, it was so small that you could not see it.
Well, I mean, she is famous for wearing that outfit that was kind of showing her ass or something like that, right?
But it was a white mink. And she was like, he's cutie. He's a little cutie and he's talented. And then I was like, putting it around, I'm being called cute by an actress. What I remember, I'm being called cute by actress, but I wouldn't disrespect us, and because Puff was you, I wouldn't disrespect you though and put her on a mattress. You know what I mean? I remember just those little vivid, and he's like, this kid is.
He's like, well,
he's like, this kid is.
He's nice, but he better watch his mouth.
Nah, he had that. No, he said this. He's like, yeah, you like sexy. He said, you like sexy people like this. At Bad Boy, this is natural. Because he was just so. He's like, I get what I want, Playboy. I get what I want. Get what I want. He's like, I'm gonna holler at y'all, and then we driving off, and then Spud was telling me, yo, man, you really different. You really got a different type of gift.
So Spud is basically going from Zip to Spud.
I think he was probably like, I don't know, somebody who worked for him or whatever.
Spud is the one that introduced you to
but Diddy. it was Zip's call, because later I found out because then I had got to meet Jimmy Henchman and all of this other stuff. So I found out who Zip was.
So they were like A&Rs on the low, but not at official A&Rs, but
yes,
they were,
because at that time, it was about finding genuine raw talent and developing it. It wasn't about, so A&R had a purpose. A&R had a purpose, and there was different levels of A&R, and you subconsciously, if you're a DJ, you're A&R without knowing it. And then if you're a person that's going to all of these battles and you're keeping track of, you're A&Ring for people without knowing it. Like even when I did the Source Awards and I came in second place, Riggs Morales wanted to, the owner, the writer of the Source, Gotti, he wanted to write me up. He was like, and I was so angry because they eliminated me because I cursed. And he's like, you don't even want to write up in the Source, because I wasn't politically connected to the industry. I was a child, infatuated with the culture.
Got you.
You know, I didn't care about no write up. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to. I wasn't processing me as an artist.
Do me a favor. Take just the microphone and turn it more towards your face.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
I wasn't looking at myself as an artist. I didn't start looking at myself as an artist till Hip Hop Project.
So we're gonna circle back still.
Yeah.
So now you met Diddy. You did the rhyme and all that. So was this is in front of Daddy house? When did you become an artist? How did that happen?
So that was, now I'm coming to the barbershop. You know, now I'm going through Harlem and I'm always rhyming at Khalil's barbershop. Now Khalil already had a relationship with Yogi, right? But they're hearing about me because now I'm hearing from the story from Gotti.
How much longer was this after meeting Diddy? That this process where you're in the barbershop?
Not too much longer. Because
Okay.
now at this point, now I'm like a local celebrity.
Got you.
So now I gotta walk and move, because if I stay in one place, there's a crowd.
Got you.
And then it was different. It was like some semi-protection, but also some borderline creepiness thing going on. Because there was like, yo, grown man asking for autograph. That's kind of different. And I'm a kid. I wasn't processing that. Now, in that barbershop, they were just like, yo, other older brother figures. So
where was this barbershop?
On 135th.
Okay.
So right, not across the street from Thurgood Marshall.
Okay.
So now, right, Khalil he's being an older brother figure. Like I'm to this day, like he's one of the most genuine people I ever encompassed in the music business. I will say he wasn't as knowledgeable as the intricacy of music business, because I know if he was, because he was managing Hoodfellas, he would have did certain things different with Puff. But his intention was always the best for us.
Yeah.
And that you could salute, because, you can't blame someone for not knowing. You know what I mean? But his intention, if Khalil made $10 million, we was all going to eat.
Got you.
That's who he was. If Khalil was going to make sure he would make sure I had clothes on my back, this, that, and the third. And I'm just revealing, this is really who he was, actually treating me like a young, because he was older than me, like a young little brother or borderline son. You know what I mean? Embracing me with his wife. Yeah, like real talk. Nice. So that's why I just listened to him. But simultaneously, I'm also developing my close relationship with a BT. And all these male figures I'm building relationships with, because I'm in search of male, because my father's not there. So older male.
Was your stepfather still around during this time? Or?
Nah. At that time, my mom broke up with him.
Okay.
So then she went to a place where she was alone for a period amount of time until she met one more other person, right? And then the person she met after that, she married, and then she was with him all the way until he passed away.
So you basically, so like you said, you was looking for a father figure at the same time. So you was hanging out in the barbershops with the OGs and all that.
Right. As I could recollect now, and I could describe it from that space, young boys subconsciously do that without them knowing. They look for, that's why gangs are so effective. Because you're looking, it's just, in these moments, these men, whether they were perfect or not, they all had attributes that were attractive to me to go, okay, older brother figure.
Yeah.
Whether it was, I'm learning this in the streets, I'm learning this, he's helping me, protecting me in this. So that's what Khalil was. So even at the time when I did get signed and all of that, he would kind of coach me like, yo, I know you don't look at yourself this now, but you an artist, so you got to do this, you got to do that. And I remember when DJ Clue was like, yo, man, we got to get him on the what's the name, to freestyle at the radio, but he just wanted me, not the hood fellas.
So hold on. So you got signed to Bad Boy.
Yeah.
Yogi was a person that helped that transition.
So so how that happened is Yogi was already friends with Khalil, right?
Okay.
But I didn't know from that time when I had left Puff. Puff was like putting a watch on me.
Mm-hmm.
So it all made sense now. Puff was like, I want him, right? So Yogi told Puff, like, look, if I get you him, can you also bring my other 3 cousins? Because they was already in a group on someone Universal or was it Universal? I think so.
So Yogi, he's a manager? Or
Yogi's a producer, a legendary producer, also an artist in a group called Crew.
From Harlem?
I don't know where they from. I think the
Hood fellas are from...
No, Hood fellas are from Brooklyn.
They're from Brooklyn?
Yeah.
So okay, I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
Hood fellas are from Brooklyn. You're the only one that's from like Bronx,
Yeah.
Harlem.
Yeah.
Okay.
All 3 of them from Brooklyn.
All right.
Yeah. So you got Papa Sim, who was more the charismatic. He was a smooth talker. You had Maroc, who was the metaphor specialist, and then you had Blassie, who was like the pretty boy.
And so they was a group already. Mm-hmm. And Yogi was managing them and he's producing for them.
Right.
So Yogi he spoke to Diddy and said he wanted to bring you in.
Right.
But
initially when he spoke to my mom, it was about me as a solo artist.
Okay, gotcha.
I didn't think I was gonna be in any group.
So he was just trying to help out. I mean, he was figuring out a way, like, you know what?
To help his cousins.
Okay, that's dope.
I'm not, but this is the truth. This is just what it was.
I
wasn't opposed.
I'm not gonna say it's dope, but it's smart on his end.
Yeah, and I wasn't opposed to it because I was constantly looking for personal camaraderies.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, when people want things, they appear like, oh, this is going. But initially, I remember being reluctant to it because now I'm starting to learn about the business, and I never forget. He was in his the gray silver BMW and the truck, the X5. Yeah, mm-hmm. I remember it vividly. And he driving. He's like, "Yo, the deal's being held up because of you." So I'm like, "So why don't you just have Puff sign them?"
Why was the deal being held up?
Because they really wanted me.
But what was happening that was making it not happen quick enough?
Me not signing.
Why wasn't you signing?
I was starting to read up in Hip Hop Project.
The Hip Hop Project was happening at the same time?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And even the people in the Hip Hop Project, they were thinking, because even when I was signing, they thought I was lying. Because, there was no...
So which was first? Did Hip Hop Project
Definitely Hip Hop Project.
So that was going on before you even the Bad Boy, Zip, all that stuff. Hip Hop Project. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to circle back to see how that started.
Right.
But so cool. Now, I'm guessing at some point you end up signing?
Yes, because this is exactly what happened, right? He's like, yo, you messing up the process. They not gonna get the opportunity because of you. And I didn't want to feel like
that's a pressure that you ain't really deserve because you don't even know these dudes.
Right. And I never forget. So we come into the office and I meet the lawyer, Matt Middleton. Mm-hmm. And Matt Middleton goes, after I was reading the contract, it's a really good contract. You should just sign it. I was like, it's a good contract. Right? Because now I'm learning about certain stuff. So, and I'm like, wait a minute,
And how what was your age?
At this time, they didn't know. Mm-hmm. Right? At this time, technically, they didn't know I was 17.
Okay.
And I was 16 turning 17. Mm-hmm. Right? So I was 17 when the contract was done.
Gotcha.
16 when they started. They thought I was 17 turning 18. But I wasn't.
So you signed at 16. Got you. So
now but that was on me because I had said to myself, like, wait a minute, if anything goes wrong, because I'm reading the Donald Passman now,
what is that for people who don't know?
So the Donald Passman is a lawyer. Everything you need to know about the music business, and it breaks it down.
It's a book?
It's a book.
All right, cool. All right.
So I'm reading that because now I'm in this situation. So now I want to comprehend. So Chris Roll, he created the hip hop project from a company All Star where we're learning the business and we're developing as artists and understanding demographic and being ourselves. And not every artist has to be this drug dealer or whatever, right? So he created an incredible environment in that standpoint. And now I'm taking that business component part serious because the rest of them don't understand. I'm signing a contract.
Yeah.
So now I'm reluctant because I'm like, but then I'm listening to Matt Middleton say, no, this is a real good contract. Lying to me, well, this is a great contract. So then I do it. But then
was your mother there when you signed this contract?
No. What happened was I signed
because you were 16.
Right. I signed what I signed was an agreement with Big Things Productions that she
was aware of.
Right. So because she was aware of that, she gave that.
Anything that happened from that point on was she just figured.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and my mother was at the time trying to tell my uncle, I need you to be a part of it, but he wasn't listening until it got
real.
Till it got real.
All right, so you signed to.
I'm thinking I'm signing to Big Things, and we working with him, but it's signing to Big Things to a group. And then I remember first time meeting them. I remember it was in the barbershop, and Khalil introduced me to them. So when he's introducing me to them, I'm feeling safe because one thing Khalil didn't do is because he knew them, he knew all of us. Khalil, he knew me last, I think. But Khalil never said, oh, I'm going to treat you worse than nah. Khalil to this day adored, like really, like I was like his little brother. I could genuinely say that. You know what I mean? Like it's certain people and it gives you a confidence to constantly remember, yo, it's good people in the world and it's good people in the music business. It's just
the music business.
It's just the music business.
You know what I'm saying? It's easy to get
right.
You know?
He's the type of person that, you know, will help elevate things to a positive space because he thinks more about other people than himself. He's always been that type of person. He's seen, and he would say, he's seen us so big, and then he would fight for us with Puff. Then he would have the different arguments. And I know they would have other different arguments because he'd come back upset like, yo, this, that, and the third. And, you know, but at this time, simultaneously, I'm in the program, the Hip Hop Project, so I'm learning music business.
So all right. So that's what made you, you know, delay on signing the deal, but then you saw the lawyer kind of.
It's a great contract.
He gave you the lawyer vibe. He had the lawyer look.
Matt Middleton, I never forget his fucking name. And I don't even curse like that, but yeah, straight up lied to me.
So he's a lawyer, right? That's, you know.
Yeah.
But not saying all lawyers lie, but I think it is part of the job.
Yeah.
So you signed it now you're officially signed.
Yeah.
What was your first song that you recorded for Bad Boy?
The first song I recorded for Bad Boy was taken from when we recorded at Yogi Spot was the Hood Fellas. And the Hood Fellas
Spot was in Brooklyn too?
No, Yogi had a nice house in Jersey. Because Yogi was already a successful artist in the music business. The Crew. What's that? Doom, doom, doom. If you look up The Crew, they have a real nice classic hit record. They got a bunch of them. And he was a producer. And he was one of the hitmen. And he produced a lot of your favorite joints.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
He produced a lot of your favorite joints. A lot of your favorite joints he produced.
So you met all those producers back
yes.
then? The D.
Myron Winans, D. Dot, all of them. They love me. Even D. Dot see me years ago. He's like, yo, man, you know you mad talented and I remember he was doing something else. He was like, yo, but the thing is that you know, there's these systems that I'm not aware of, and I'm young, and so people go, yo, I want to operate with you, but this I can only operate with you in this spectrum because I'm a part of this system. And then that's just what it becomes. Because even when I was working with Marijuana, he was like, yo, man, his rap skills is crazy, but this dude play. Oh shit. And we in the studio, it's just I was reluctant to be in long time in his sessions because they did a lot of drugs.
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, that's
we're gonna get to that. I mean, it's just the music industry, right?
Yeah.
I mean, entertainment industry, period. There's a lot
of
drugs.
That was not it for me.
So you signed to you down with the hit Hood Fellas. The Hood Fellas.
Yeah.
Your first song was what did you say it was?
The Hood Fellas.
That's the name of the song, The Hood Fellas. Did that make it to like any albums or anything like that?
They made a vinyl of it and they pushed it. But
was it a good song?
Yes, because it was getting I was getting a lot of recognition where people would hit, like I said, they was hitting back Khalil like, yo, I want verse to come, but it was the same situation like how like at the time when Locks came out, people was like Jadakiss was the guy. It was the same thing that was
even
happening.
when Sheik's was the guy at first.
Sheik was the guy. You know what I mean? But the thing is, what groups need to understand is all of that is subjective, and when one of y'all it helps. That person just needs to stay not level-headed and not arrogant.
Yeah.
In that, and I was never that. I was never that.
So you're in this group, you do this song,
yeah,
but people are still saying your name. Did that cause like any conflict with you and the rest of the Hood Fellas?
I genuinely believe indirectly it did. You know, but it might have not. But I've just from the treatment that I remember, the seclusion, the social seclusion of. But part of it was I ain't drink. They was a little bit older, so they going out to the clubs, and I'm not. I want to, you know.
You just wasn't doing what they was doing.
I'll stay in the studio and right. I never forget when Bassie bought his the truck with the rims that don't stop.
Spreewells.
And he had the video game in the back, and I was hyped because I'm young and playing. He like, yo, man, stop playing the video game. I'm like, yo, this shit's fine. He's like, no, that's for the bitches. And I'm like, huh?
I mean, do they play video games?
Yeah, like what?
Like
and I think there was aspects to them that they felt I was like culturally just disconnected. It could have been that too.
You was like Kanye at that time for Bad Boy.
Yeah, it could have been more of a social discrimination rather than a jealousy. That's me speculating, but I know the different treatment, and also through the reciprocity through the company, because we were chilling with the you know, the people at promotion and the assistants, and so they would see and they would be like, yo, kick a freestyle, and they'd be like, yeah, and I'll just anytime, and they're like, yo, you mad talented, so they were just ready for, you know, and these parts I didn't tell them, you know, is when I had my little, you know, isolated moments with Diddy and the things that were being proposed and asked. And every time I would say no, he'd make sure that like we weren't that wasn't gonna happen.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
So before we go there, you're signed, you're doing songs, you did the Hood Fellas. The Hood Fellas was a single that was being put out. When was your first official time of like being on a? Did you do any like projects?
Yes, the saga continues. I never forget.
Oh, the album.
Yes, the saga.
You're on
continues.
that?
Yes, I'm on that. We on a record. It's gonna be a single.
That was like a compilation album, right?
Yes,
of artists.
It was gonna be a single. Because G Dep had just came off the big smash, so we did the
special delivery.
We did the remix, and we hopped on that. I remember that day because nobody wanted to go first on the record. I was like, I'll go first. You know, And Puff was like, well, whoever goes first has to have the shortest verse because the way it's structured, it still needs to be structured in the song. I'll go first. You know, nothing. So, but what was traumatizing was the isolated moments of being asked to do things that I don't want to go into. And every time I'm saying no, the repercussions of my career happening, but they were connected into that. So at the time, you know, they were gonna put that out as a single because it was a dope record.
Special delivery remix.
The special delivery was hit, but the remix we recorded and it was like, they was going crazy.
There is a remix for that though, right?
Yes, but what happened was Puff made sure that he got these other legends, Ghostface and what's the name, the Hop, on it. But initially we was gonna do the first remix. We did it.
And Hoodfellas was Bad Boy artists.
Yes, we were Bad Boy artists.
So it would have made sense to.
It would have made
it
was perfect, but
something happened that caused this not to happen.
Right, and this was that was unfortunately that was consistent, and what I think happened, right, to be logical, because you can't be consuming emotion when you to be logical. We signed at a time where Locks already put out the narrative, Puff is a bad businessman.
Okay, so
and now you got to remember, Locks are the streets at this time.
Yeah.
So when they put that out, it hit. And when it hit, right, I think Puff said in his head, I got another group.
Yeah.
If I don't have a certain level of control of them, I'm not positioning them. I got this other nice white boy, because now you see later he had different issues with him. And if I don't have a certain level of control, Kane was nice. Like Puff ability to identify talent is real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like when you look at King Los is a phenomenal MC and a phenomenal songwriter. He did a lot of songwriting on the new Diddy album, which is
the one that just dropped,
which is a very incredible, well put together album. You know what I mean? Like he's a high level spirited being creator. King Los is special, but Puff recognized that because Puff's genius is producing. And in his defense, a lot of people say, "Oh, he never." Producing, for those who don't understand, is the arrangement of sounds and ideas, not the construction, but the arrangement of sounds and ideas.
Just Biggie passed already during this time. How was it like?
Yeah. Oh, but I would hear different stories because they had the Dats in there, so they had like they had the Dats with the classic commission records with.
Who was on that?
Fog, Jay, Big, Charlie Baltimore, Cam, I heard some stuff on McGruff.
McGruff was good too.
What? Man, listen, man. Yeah.
So wow. So
yeah.
You guys were supposed to be on the remix.
So, and a situation happened between me and him.
You and Diddy?
Privately.
Which caused him not to put the whole group on the song?
Right. And they didn't know that.
Oh, they didn't know that?
No. Just
there would have been an issue if they found that out.
They were different. He knew what to. He wasn't, you know what I mean? I was a little younger. They probably wouldn't have that shit.
So,
you know what I mean?
It's
I was the prank. I never forget because my mother came. She was like, "Why are you depressed?" She walked up. I never forget at the video shoot. She was like, "What's going on with my son?" So he's looking at her, mad nervous.
Did he?
Because he's thinking I had the conversation with her about what transpired, but I was too afraid to have that conversation. So he's like, "What you mean what's happening?" She was like, "What's going on? Like, she was like, when is the music and stuff gonna come out? So then he says, I can't put just a verse thing out, because if I put, no, this is what he said. What he told her, he said, oh, I realized we have to push her fellas back, because if I put this out, they're gonna want a verse project. Right?
Okay.
So then she said, what do you mean? He was like,
Because you would.
your son is talented, he's strong.
Yeah.
He's not ready to put out a full project. He would tell her, the smart thing to do is to introduce him through this, and then let that, you know.
He was probably right?
I don't need to negate that. So I still was watching a man that, even though I was going through what I was going through with him personally, still be an executive in that moment. So I'm thinking like, okay, my dream is still going to happen.
Did you look at Diddy as a father figure at that point?
Indirectly, until certain traumatic situations, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I know. I could tell it's not something you're comfortable with, so we won't even.
Yeah.
But basically, it was something that caused a wedge between the business relationship.
Tremendously, and because it was, yeah.
So after that happened, the situation, did you continue to be an artist, or was it things?
Yeah. So we did the
because you was on the So I Can Continue album.
Yes, and the record was being received well.
Yeah.
And then once again, another one of those compromising situations came.
Another situation happened during the album, while the album was out.
It's popping, right? So now we go to Florida. The Hood fellas, they out. They out. They going in the club or whatever, and is in the studio. Is the engineer. He leaves. Does me.
So wait, were you still like 16, 17? Or?
At this time, I'm 17.
All right, you're 17. So
Yeah.
you're not even legal enough to get into clubs and stuff like that.
Nah.
Okay.
I remember because.
Were you the youngest person on Bad Boy around this time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're the only person that's not really going anywhere.
Right.
All right, got you.
Right.
So now you're in Florida. What, Miami? What part of Florida?
I believe it's Miami because it was a mansion.
Probably Miami. It
was a mansion.
At the time, that was a cool place for people to go.
It was a mansion, and
Okay.
I remember how cool the beds were. They were like connected to the bathroom, and the bathroom had this over.
Each room had its own bathroom.
All of that, right? So a traumatic situation happened, and when that traumatic situation
At this house?
yeah.
Got you.
Right. So a traumatic situation happened, and when that traumatic situation happened, when we came back, I remember we was at the video shoot, and then, when my mom came through, he was shaking my hand, but he was trying to squeeze it really hard.
Who? Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to squeeze it really hard to intimidate me, so I was squeezing it back.
Okay.
Right. And, and he was like, so he didn't like my affiliation with my friend BT.
Who's BT?
Now BT is a person who's from a Coons, but in my mind I had like, how the fuck you know who he is?
McCoon's is the hood in the Bronx. All right.
But see, I'm not understanding his reach, his money, I'm young. Like, I'm not understanding, like, yo, he could do research right. But it all makes sense. He's not liking that, because now if I ever get that level of affiliation, how could you have that intimidation?
So now he knows you're connected to certain street dudes.
Maybe there'll be a retaliation if they ever found out.
The disagreements you guys are having.
Right. The capacity of it. Because, you know what I mean? And
he's realizing that he can't control you.
Yes.
And you mentioned that he seems to be a person that wants to be able to control.
So I think after the lock situation, he was too apprehensive on. It wasn't about how successful the artist could be now. Now it's about how big Puff could be. And if artists are successful and then all of a sudden I'm not doing good business and then they leave or whatever, or, the verse might one day have a conversation about what privately transpired. You know what I mean? So.
And we're talking now, this was over how many years ago?
more than a decade.
Over a decade.
Yeah.
Probably
Saga Continuous
close
came out
to
2001.
2001.
Yeah.
So we're talking almost 20 years, maybe.
Yeah.
And you haven't spoken about any of this ever?
Nah. And even in that, I'm selective on how, because my psychiatrist was telling me it's good for me, the therapeutic aspect of acceptance and release. But also, I do understand that I do have information. The music business has no empathy towards young people, particularly young black males. And there's no empathy. And there's a system created, right, cultivated by white supremacy to really project these overall images and make money at the same time. Like, it's no different like crack. Like, we're going to get a few of you niggas rich, but you're going to destroy a whole community. You know what I mean? So that, they're going to feed whoever helps benefit that system. And now, as I look, and I'm still holding on to my dream as an artist, because I'm fully capable to compete musically with anyone, and I stand on that. I think I owe that. So I think I can have an interview without being provocative.
Yeah.
But being informative, because I'm not here for attention, but I will be here for promotion, and promotion is about the attention of a specific art.
And I've been reaching out to you for an interview forever.
Yeah, a lot of people have.
And I've been seeing. I told you, I was just happened to be watching the interview with Smoke DZA and Jay Mills, and I'm like, wait, did he just say verse?
Yeah.
And you have never told me about this before, so you're real humble. You know what I'm saying? But I want to go back to Florida. So did this situation that happened with Diddy, was it early in the time you being there? Because I saw there was a photo shoot. Is that where the photo shoot was done for the album?
If you look at one of them, I'm sitting there holding
got your
my
hand.
head.
Yeah, like
I'm a little depressed in it because of some traumatic things he has said. And
during the time of this photo shoot, you was depressed.
And my mother was confused.
She was there?
No, my mother was confused because they flew me to Florida. So my mother was confused. She was like, "Why are you depressed?"
What you called your mom?
I didn't call her. When I came back, she seen I was depressed. So we had to go and do another shoot, because one thing he did always want is he wanted us in the new visuals of what's going, because he's in my head, and I'm speculating, but I think as executive, he's like, okay, maybe this is the time I break them. So let me make sure the public sees them in this video. Let me make sure. So he always wanted us in the visuals. So he's like, all right. So my mother showed up like, what do you?
So you guys never shot any videos though?
Direct her fella. No, he never. No. When we were going to go to the Rap City, the basement, right? Right before, he's like, look, if you want to go, you have to do this. I'm not doing that.
So, whoa, all right. Let me bring this back, because it seems like this is like just keeps happening. So you just keep, the first situation happened back in New York at right? Then the next situation happened in Florida.
Right.
And then you came back, and then the Rap City situation happened.
Right.
So you just keep getting these situations that you're being tested.
Right.
And
it's simultaneously hurting the hood fellas because they're in the group.
And they don't notice?
Nah. I don't have the confidence to tell them.
Like, they still don't notice till this day?
Nah.
So
I'm cool. Maroc, I think, has a podcast. I support it. I watch him. I'm cool with him. You know.
What I'm saying is, you guys, this has never been a discussion until right now.
Until right now, they don't even know. I didn't have that. I didn't have the camaraderie with them
to even to address them or let them know.
I never felt they embraced me like I'm my younger brother. They different, but not.
It was a group that wasn't really formed on a true relationship. It was a business deal.
Right. So I didn't feel
on Yogi's end.
Right. Now,
Do you think that
the
they
first
didn't...
person I
Go
told, the first person I told, and I broke down and cried and had to was Khalil.
All right.
Why? Because there was tremendous trust there. But I told him after everything, like, yo, this. So
was you upset with Khalil at any point?
Never at all. Because, like I said, Khalil's
you
goal.
can fix the pillow. It's falling off. If you want to take it.
Khalil's goal was. Let me go. Khalil's goal was hood.
And I don't mean for holding you up. I know you got something going on.
It's all good. Khalil's goal was for hood fellas to be big, and he wanted me to be. He understood I was a superstar before I even understood I was a superstar.
Khalil is also connected with the hood fellas.
Yes.
I might have missed that.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. But he had a personal care and relationship with me. This is what allowed me to be vulnerable later and say,
Father
hey.
figure-ish that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. If my dreams come through the way it's supposed to or whatever, he'd be the type of person I'd be like, yo, man, what kind of house you want?
Got you. Well,
This
is documented, Khalil.
Yeah. Real talk, because you go through certain situations, and this is a capitalistic society, so people go, what relationship is more important?
So, I mean, there's a lot of underlying, things going on. So I'm trying to be respectful of your privacy and things like that.
Appreciate it.
You mentioned Rap City. Mm-hmm. There's another situation that
Yes.
happened. And this situation, is that when it finally became like you can't be a bad boy artist?
That's when I started to go in. That's when I met Dwayne Harley at Hip Hop Project, and then he was like, oh. And then I'm like, wait a minute. So Matt Middleton worked for Puff, and it all makes sense. How can I get out of here? Well, this is what we could do.
Dwayne Harley is...
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer, okay.
Yeah. Who I met at Hip Hop Project.
All right.
So he was the one who was able to get the cease where you could, get me out of there, because there was some glitches in the contract that they didn't know.
So it wasn't hard to get you off the label.
But a recording contract is different from a publishing situation. So even though I was off, Puff still had the first option onto whoever I signed to, right? But he probably wouldn't have exercised that option depending on the situation. If I would have gotten the momentum right after, he probably would have exercised it where he could have got the 50% of it off that. Because even there, Yogi and them, they did the bad business on our end, because they were the ones as the production company that was profiting most of the advance, the this, that, and the third. I didn't see none of that.
No bread at all?
Nah, we seen bread, but I didn't see what was supposed to be, because of the production company. Because he was pocketing that. And even in that, what hurt with Yogi was the portrayal that if this was a positive situation when it wasn't. That's number one. But secondly, was when I started to find out about what's his name? Jimmy Henchman. So I went to Yogi first. I said,
so wait. So many names, man.
Yeah.
There's like these names, Jimmy Henchman. There's so much history connected to all these names.
Yeah.
So I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back. You good? You need anything?
I can get another drink of water. All right. Thank you.
Take some time.
Yeah.
To yourself.
Yeah. Whew.